Welcome, and I'm really glad you could join me just to answer a few of our questions and share with the community a little bit about yourself and your practice. So yeah, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
So, as many of you might have seen, the Slocan Valley Community Arts Council has been doing a few artist profiles, which have been going out on Instagram and Facebook, and we're hoping to have them on our website as well. And we're just featuring artists from our community to share, really, and just for people to be able to have a little insight as to what artists are doing and how they're actually dealing with the pandemic and how it's affected their practice. So without much more ado, I'm going to fire some questions at you, Seathra. A little bit about yourself, your work, and a little bit about your art practice.
All right. I am a teacher, and I am a curator, and I'm a textile artist. So I teach felting, eco-printing, natural dyeing, pattern drafting, and I'm a curator at the Langham Art Gallery in Caslow currently. And yeah, I've focused my practice most recently on natural dyes and sort of natural dyes that come from my local area where I live, as opposed to ordering and resourcing dyes from around the world. I'm trying to think a bit more about sustainability and what our local color schemes could be and provide, as opposed to ordering dyes from around the world.
Yeah, I believe you did some research on that, didn't you? Yeah.
I did, yes. I worked with the Sinaixt Nation, and they told me all their different natural dyes that they remembered. The two ladies who helped me are not practitioners, but they had heard from their elders, and I was able to go out and collect dyes, and that was actually through the Columbia Basin Trust. What do we call it?
The Columbia Kootenai Cultural Alliance, right?
Yes,
It was
CKCA.
funding from them.
Funding from CKCA. So I went, interviewed Marilyn James and Therese Alexis, and we went out and gathered all the different dye plants, and I was able to experiment with it and do a little bit of an ebook on it. So, but I've moved back into more exotic kind of dyes lately, just for some bold colors. And yeah, so I'm currently working on a project that kind of is very, very bright for natural dyes.
Awesome.
Yeah, you might not actually know that it was natural dyes. That's how bright you can get them. So,
well, tell me a bit more about that. That sounds fascinating.
Yeah, so I also have a yarn company called Stravagan Yarn Company, and where I use Canadian yarns, all wool, natural from sustainable farms, and I just dye the colors for people to buy and make sweaters and things. And I am not a knitter. And that is very difficult because people want to see examples of your yarn in a sweater or a toque or something. So I thought, okay, well, how can I show an interesting way to promote my yarns and my natural dyes? And I wound up going back to my design days, and I created a dress that is based on natural dyes and yarn. So essentially it's a huge dress that is all layers of yarn, and then I did some felting and some stitching and different techniques on it to bring it all kind of together, because I felt like I needed to show my show my yarns in a certain way and my natural dye skill, but as well as my design skill, because I've been kind of moving away from that, focusing on more dyes lately. So I wanted to get back to my design.
So this is like a wearable piece of art.
It is. It's a corset and a big skirt.
Right.
And I've been working on it quite a bit lately, and we'll be shooting it very soon at Stone Meadow Gardens, amongst all the flowers in the field. And they have been very gracious in letting me also harvest some of their flowers to use as dyes and to use as bouquets to go with our photo shoots.
Oh, this is so awesome. It's all local.
It's all local, yes. Exactly. Some of the dyes aren't exactly local, but they are all natural.
Do you think we could share some of the photos from the shoot?
Absolutely. Yes,
Oh,
we're gonna.
wow.
The theme is, and it's kind of a play on. It's a bit of it's going to be called There Will Be Cake. Sort of like a let them eat cake, and also yarn cakes when you actually skein up the yarn into a cake. So it's kind of, there's going to be a cake that's actually entirely made out of yarn cakes. It is part of the photo shoot.
Wonderful.
And Kyla at Bella Flora in Nelson is going to do a big headpiece that will incorporate some yarn cakes as well as flowers and leaves and other local things, which she'll actually go to Stone Meadows and pick some of the
Oh,
flowers
wow.
that she'll use for it.
Oh my gosh, that sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
it's going to be great.
And are you going to be the model?
No. There's someone far better for modeling lined up, and but we're gonna do it in the evening because it's about 15 pounds of wool in the entire dress.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's heavy
Pretty
and
warm.
hot,
Right.
and it's currently 35 degrees. So
Right.
probably not the best combination until the evening time.
Well, plus
Yes.
you get some good light in the evening sometimes
Exactly.
as well, some good shadows.
Yeah, we don't want the harsh light of the day on
Yeah.
it. So we're going to see the color and the textures because all the yarns are different. 1 ply, 2 ply, 3 ply, different
Right.
kind of textures. So it'll be nice to pick up that detail.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So this is happening now. How did you cope during the pandemic?
Yeah, I started this project kind of before Christmas even, like the idea of it and just kind of doing my sketches and my samples and bringing it together. And it kind of came to a crashing halt right as the pandemic really took over because I just felt quite challenged artistically and creatively. I really felt like a down about, and I think it happens a collective conscious maybe, or just like the panic of not knowing what's coming and what's
The
happening.
anxiety,
The anxiety, it kind of grinds on you. And I feel like to be creative, I need to be like happy and relaxed. And, I know some people create really great art out of anxiety and things, but I'm not that way. I need to be kind of relaxed and happy. And so it took a couple of months off working on it where I just really wasn't even interested or
Right.
inspired at all by it. Just kind of sat in my studio in the corner and I was like, and then it turned into the whole, why am I even doing this? Is anyone ever going to see this? Yeah, what's the purpose behind it? It's, kind of seems frivolous. I don't know. It just kind of made me really do some questioning, which can also happen just living, I think, in a smaller area. You start to, in this bubble, you start to wonder, how is my work? Is it relevant? Like if I'm going to put it out in the world, is someone in America or the UK going to look at it and say like, oh, what's that chick up to out in Canada? Like, that's just way outdated news kind of thing. Or is it really good? And I just felt that kind of crushing in on me a little bit, even more with the whole pandemic, just kind of making you feel a bit more down and doubtful of everything. I just felt a little bit of self-doubt.
Well, I'm really glad that you moved through that and that you're now in a better place. And I think that that's something that I think it's great to share is that, and I'm sure there's many people out there that have experienced something similar, and I think we all deal with it differently. And so thanks for sharing that. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are the same, and hopefully they're just like you. They'll be kind of coming out the other end of feeling creative again.
And I have chatting with my other friends who are artists and designers, I think there was quite and some people bounce back faster than others, but there definitely was in our discussions a bit of that sort of everyone feeling a bit uncertain and down, and just how that anxiety was kind of suppressing their creative energy.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm coming back to it now, and I don't know if it's the summer or just like getting used to living in a pandemic or what's happened, but I went to Stone Meadows the other day to pick up a bouquet and got talking with Sarah there, and she's the owner, and she, oh, how's the dress coming? Are we still doing that shoot? And then the next time I went to get a bouquet, Kyla was actually there getting flowers for Bella Flora, picking them up, and we just happened to run into all three of us at the same time at the bouquet stand.
So it was meant to happen.
It was meant to, and then I kind of came home and I was like, right, I've got to get back on this, and I was re-inspired because then Kyla was very inspired to make the headpiece that's going to go with it for the photo shoot, and she said, oh, well, bring some of the yarns by in the shop. I want to see what colors you're working with. I want to see how I can put this together. Give me some ideas. What's your theme? This, that, the other thing. So it just kind of reinvigorated the excitement, and I've been feverishly working on it ever since because we have a start date that's only like 2 weeks away for the shoot. So I've still got a bunch of tweaking and adding and things to do that need to be done. So.
Well, that sounds really exciting.
Yes.
Well, thank you for sharing a little bit with us today. And I hope everybody out there enjoyed this little conversation.
Me too. Thanks for having me. And I can't wait to share the images as well once the photo shoot is done.
Well, hopefully what we'll do is we'll actually have the images playing at the same time as they're listening to this. So with any luck, we'll be able to work that out.
It'll all come together.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Natasha.